Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the third official episode of the Akum Bakum podcast. And here with us, unlike our normal episodes, we have a very special guest, Captain Mohamed Zaid. Welcome to the Akum Bakum podcast. And we are going to actually see and understand a little bit about the maritime industry of the Maldives, perhaps about the world in a very general sense, so that we can actually get a little bit of information about how this works in our country, in the world as well. And I also heard that you have quite a lot of experience in this field from 1991 until 2019. How many years is that?
Wow, 2019.
28 years,
yeah,
almost 30
right.
years, 3 decades. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyhow, when I think of the word captain, right, what comes to mind is usually either pilot captain or something that's military based. You really think of something let's say a boat captain. It does not even, perhaps some people, but it rarely comes to mind. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of the sense of awareness in our community, actually. Even it's not in our community, even in other communities, the role of a ship captain is much known to people. Like, people just see the captain as a person who drives the ship only.
Yes.
It's a limited knowledge.
But there is quite a lot of significance in that field, isn't there?
Exactly.
Are there any government initiatives for this?
Oh, yes. As currently, I believe the present government also would like to, revive the industry, as we have seen now. Later, I think a year back, we have seen the start of the bunkering practice in the northern atoll, and they have brought two vessels, also 2 ships, 2 tankers to start the operation. That means that the government also would like to revive this industry and make our economy more resilient, especially in times of crisis.
There was a reinitiation of this industry, right? Previously, how big was it in the Maldives, like the cargo, the shipping, the freight?
It was indeed very huge, actually, compared even to international standards. I believe the Maldives Shipping Limited, at the peak of its operation, they owned more than 40 ships, and I think commercially they controlled many other ships.
That 40 doesn't seem like much.
But 40 ships, ownership of 40 is quite a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the commercial commercial control in the sense means you have the chartering of the other ships, and
Yes.
So that means it's quite vast for a very small nations like us.
Yes.
Because our neighbors, Sri Lanka, during the 1960s, they did not have a shipping line. Singapore, they did not have a shipping line as big as ours.
But they did have one.
They did,
Yes.
in some sort.
Yes.
And even Bangladesh also did not have.
Okay.
The only nation, the neighboring country, which had a comparatively big shipping line is India. It was the State Shipping Line, the Shipping Corporation of India. So Maldives and India, we were having the ships, actually. I guess from 1990s was a period of change, actually, in the maritime industry. Like containerization was started and was gaining pace. And the maritime legislation was becoming very, very stringent.
Okay.
And they were trying, actually, to phase out the old ships.
Okay.
So comparatively, our fleet, Maldives shipping, our age was quite high. The age gap. I think 20 plus years probably was our age generally.
Okay.
So the international shipping, the IMO would like to phase out old ships, and even the Europeans, So we were faced with a lot of challenges actually, and we did not invest at the right time.
Okay.
And we even overlooked to invest in containerizing the fleet.
Yeah.
We were carrying our cargo from Singapore to Male in boxes, crates, and things like that, rather than putting it in a container. And the other problem was the port of Male.
Yes.
Port of Male began, I think, in the 1980s, but it was not catered to, handle ships with containers.
Okay.
So ships come here to Male, they spend a lot of time. That means quite a loss, actually, to the ship owner, spending time here without earning anything. And we don't carry any cargo out of Male. So, the port stay has to be as less as possible to make some money.
Yes, because of the inefficiency of the port.
Port was small.
It was quite small.
Very small.
And since we refused to actually upgrade our shipping service, it just phased out, right?
Yes. You have pointed out that
Yes.
our port was started, I think you have done some research, in
Yes.
1986.
Yes.
That's where we also saw the formation of the port. But the thing was, the expansion was not done in that view.
Okay.
Because every day the maritime transport was expanding, ships were becoming high tech, and the capacity was increasing.
Yes.
So we didn't actually invest to expand the port.
So after this, this was quite a big downfall, since you have said at the peak they had around 40 ships, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it brought quite a lot of revenue.
Of course.
Then what triggered the establishment of the MSS, the new one in
The new
2020?
To my understanding, you need actually to interview the people from the MSS for
Yes.
But my assumption is that the government have realized that they need to have some control on the freight.
Yes.
And it was a time of crisis. Also, COVID-19 was there, and it was hitting us very, very badly. And having a national line is of very much importance. Even in addition to earning freight, you could do a lot of things if you have your national shipping line. So, and to be more resilient, as you know, during the COVID-19. All our, income was zero from tourism.
Yes.
We were earning something from fishing.
Yes.
But the shipping was running internationally. So I believe the government realized the importance of having an additional source of income to the Maldives.
So even though during the pandemic times everything was shut down, the shipping...
That was, I believe, it was a risk. Actually, I think even before the COVID-19, the setup of a shipping company was, I think, going on.
Yes.
So purchasing a ship will take time.
Yes.
So it could take months. So maybe the deal clicked at that time only. The industry has to be, I believe, it has to be revived, and we could make this again, a money earning process and revenue earning process to the Maldivian economy.
How much did it contribute to the economy?
My understanding is that in the 19s, this was the contribution only by the people who worked on ships. It seems in the 90s we had crew recruiting agencies here in Male. It was, I think, around 10 agencies.
Yeah.
And annually they were earning about $12 million US dollars. So annually, $12 million in the 1990s is quite a lot, actually. And our crew, people who were working on the ships, were also not officers mostly. Mostly it was normal, the ratings. and their wages will not be very high.
Okay.
If it was officers, it would have been more.
So the lack of quality labor also.
We didn't have,
Yeah.
but even then we were earning 12 million US dollars per year.
Okay.
And I believe it was more in the late 80s. It was more, I guess.
You talked about officers. I mean, since we are going to go to the career options as well, I think it will be quite. Everybody really says this. That it's a very high earning position, right? The positions in the industry earns you quite a bit. What are the career options available in this industry?
Currently, I would say that there is the means. If someone wants to become a ship captain, there is the means to do it here in the Maldives. There is you can start your seagoing career with courses are being offered by the Maldives National University at the Center for Maritime Studies.
Yes.
You can begin a sea career by doing the required studies over there.
Yes.
And as you know, shipping is a very diverse field. You can either work on the ships or even work ashore.
Yes.
And it's so diverse that, for example, on passenger ships, you can be a fitness instructor and you would like to work on a passenger ship. Yes, that's possible.
How is the lifestyle on a ship?
The lifestyle on a ship is very, very, I would say it is very, it's safe. It's
safe.
very safe, yeah. The working and living conditions are very good on ships because it is very heavily regulated.
Okay.
So that means that working on a ship is very, very safe.
How is the food? I mean, what kind of amenities do you get on a ship?
Food, to my understanding, according to the Maritime Labour Convention, since the coming into force of the Maritime Labour Convention 2006, you have to offer, the food, reasonable quality standard of food with good nutrition content to the crew, and for different ethnic and cultural backgrounds, whatever food they can eat.
Okay.
Like for us Muslims, they have to offer halal food to us.
Okay. Is it quite heavily regulated in the sense, like they actually have to bring this type of food for a certain,
Yeah, yes.
They do actually.
Yes,
do that. Okay.
they do it because I have sailed with vegetarians.
Okay.
I have sailed with people who eat meat, and you have to give vegetarian food to people who are vegetarians.
And since you have so much experience, like almost 3 decades, like, is there any interest story? Like, have you met like the most famous one, Somali pirates? Have you met any of them?
Yes.
You have?
We have, we have encounters.
Okay.
The encounters with Somali pirates, and normally they are that area is called a high risk area.
Okay.
And the last trip which we made from India to Italy was through the Gulf, Red Sea, which is the piracy hotspot area.
Okay.
So we had armed guards on board.
Okay.
So we took armed guards off Sri Lanka. So we had 3 armed guards on ship, and additionally the protection and the procedures required by the International Ship and Port Security Code and anti-piracy procedures of the company. So we were very much prepared.
Okay. So it's not that much of a surprise, is it?
We were expecting actually. We were being, we were very vigilant,
Yes.
and we had drills on board just in case if pirates come and what to do.
Okay.
So we were very prepared.
Since you're talking about the, procedures and all, what is the typical career ladder like to go to that level, to captain level?
If you would like to become a captain, I think you can climb if you complete all the trainings, courses, examinations on time, and if you pass on the spot without delay, I think you can become a ship captain in about 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can become an officer in about 2.5 years. That even as an officer, you can earn quite a handsome income here, even in Maldives. I think they offer more than 3,000 US dollars, if I'm not very sure, but or more than 3,000 USD per month.
I think that's the most interesting part most people
Yeah.
want to hear about, right? Because of the salaries. I mean, how are typical salaries like for different levels?
For a captain, of course, it is about 10,000 USD.
Around 100,
Yeah,
You know-
150K.
150k Maldives, right?
Captain and chief engineer, the salary is almost the same.
Okay. So a science student who finished A level can actually become engineer also. That way, right?
Yes, marine engineer.
But for business students, what type of opportunities are there, or maybe law students?
Business area, if there is, if you want to specialize in shipping business, the options are there actually. If you have the Bold Maritime University also offers a lot of courses on shipping business, marine insurance, and even the maritime law also.
Since you said it's quite diverse, I'm sure.
And there are means that even now you can study even online also. Easy. You can progress.
Yes.
Do your diploma and your advanced diploma, and you can climb up.
Okay, but there's some public stigmas about this, right? Because some people have this idea that the shipping industry is not that, how do I say this? They don't really agree with the industry. When perhaps somebody says, "Oh, I want to be a captain. I want to be working on a ship as an engineer, maybe as a cook," the parents don't usually agree. I mean, in the Maldives, because they have this thinking that the drug industry is something else. Everything is actually integrated in this. So going into that perhaps is not so good for children. How much truth is in this?
It's actually the perception is not correct.
Oh, okay.
Because even if you cannot on ships, on shipping industry, there's absolutely zero tolerance for drug and alcohol. Like even people who are from different, even Europeans, some shipping companies, they don't serve alcohol on board. It's against.
Okay.
And like the last company which I worked with, which is owned by Italians, there was no alcohol carried on ship, but even though we had multinational crew.
Okay.
And you have to sign a declaration to that against drug usage, that if you are caught with drugs, the company will not be assisting you.
Okay.
So there are very strict rules against drug and alcohol and smuggling and all these things. Like even if you are visiting the United States, you have very stringent rules again. They are custom rules.
Yes.
So if you violate them, then you are in very big trouble. The company will not be assisting you. Earlier it wasn't that regulated, but I think after the late 1990s, the regulations were becoming stringent day by day.
Okay.
And now we have to do something called drug and alcohol test also on the ship. I think every 2 months or so, we have the device to test alcohol
Yes.
on board, and we need to send the results to the company.
Yes.
And there is also unannounced alcohol testing, which is arranged by the company. So maybe in some random port they could come and get the tests done. So
Because you're carrying millions upon millions worth of cargo is quite a bit. And
Of
not
course.
only cargo, cruise ships as well, right?
cruise ship, yes,
Yeah.
you're carrying people, the
Yeah.
most expensive cargo.
Yes, of course. Yes. I mean, since we are just talking about the career and all, how was your experience with the ship like?
As a captain,
Yes, as a captain.
Normally, as a captain, there is no specific duty, watch or hours.
Okay.
And normally, but there is something called, there's a saying called, we used to say, the captain never sleeps.
Yes.
And it is
Heard of
correct.
it, yes.
And it is correct. My day begins at 8 in the morning.
Yes.
And it goes up to 12, up to lunchtime, and probably up to 2 in the afternoon. And during that time, I'll be, handling the emails and whatever thing, checking the navigation and the sending the required reports at every day 12 noon to the company. That means how much distance we have done in the 24 hours. How much speed are we doing, and what is our ETA to the next port, how much fuel we have consumed, and all that.
So basic things.
Yeah,
Right?
and just do some whatever paperwork which I have, and again, afternoon again, I will be up from 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And my day will go up to 10 in the evening. I normally, before I retire to the night, we used to write the daily night orders for the officers.
Okay.
And after that, I retire.
For the officers, since you're the captain, I'm sure you have more leisure. But for the officers, how is it like?
Officers also, its working hours is very much regulated because the Maritime Labour Convention, the STCW Convention, there are very strong, strict rules regarding fatigue.
Nice.
So normally for officers working at sea is 8 hours on and 4 hours on, 8 hours off, 4 hours on, 8 hours off. That is at sea. And in port, 6 hours on and 6 hours off.
Okay.
But the chief officer normally will not be working in port because he is the person who oversees the cargo operations.
Okay.
And during that time, the cargo duties will be done by the second mate and the third mates, who does 6 hours on and 6 hours off.
All right. How much of effect do you think there'll be with this, the new developments in all industries, such as AI, artificial intelligence? And people are getting scared, like some of the science students, computer science students, they're getting scared because they're saying, oh no, this will be taken over by AI, we don't have to do that, we don't have to do this. And also everything is being automated. How much of an effect do you think there will be on the maritime industry?
That is a very, very interesting question,
Yes.
Yusuf. First of all, in the shipping, currently, the shipping industry is undergoing I guess it's a transformation of with digitalization of the shipping operations.
Yes.
That is going on, and a lot of research is also being done on research and investment is done on artificial intelligence side. We have something called autonomous ships, and there are few autonomous ships. Those are small vessels, but it's on trial still.
Okay.
Like in Norway, they have autonomous. They have done a lot of research.
Freight ships, big ones.
Freight ships, not very big, but handy-sized vessels.
Okay.
But they are doing the trials, in coastal areas. But I have heard that they have done even research at the vessel crossing Pacific from some area. They have done, autonomously. But the thing is, if for autonomous vessels, the regulations are also being, made now.
Yes.
But the thing is, the regulatory structure is very, very robust in the maritime industry. So They have not made a very concrete decision on autonomous vessels,
Yes.
when it is going to take over and all these things.
Since the people who after they finish A levels, they would like to go to a job or through a career that has less redundancy rate because of these machines, right? Since they're looking because if you look at airplanes, right, you would need pilots to take off and land.
Yes.
That's the minimum.
That's
Maybe
the critical part. Yes.
and autopilot cannot be used
Exactly.
all the time, right?
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
in turbulence you have to.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, in the maritime industry, I think it's the same as
Same.
well.
It
So-
is Sam. You're right.
Yes, but of course we should actually know something about this.
In yes, you're very right, because there are certain things, certain occasions, certain times that the human involvement is required.
Yes.
You know, because you cannot bypass it. And in AI, on the other hand, a lot of applications are being made for the shipping industry. For example, like weather routing and ship performance, and ship maintenance. I believe a lot of AI applications are being used now.
Okay.
That is really helping us.
Right.
The technological, advancements in the maritime sector, I believe it's a plus point rather than a negative point.
Yes.
Actually, to us.
Instead of making human labor redundant, it's actually helping more, isn't it?
It's helping.
Yes.
Yeah.
People who are trying to pursue this career or are pursuing this career, what advice do you have for them?
This is a very good career, because I believe if you choose a career in the maritime sector, you are becoming an international person. Like if you learn, for example, the shipping business, or if you become a ship broker, and there. If you enter the field, you can make your money while staying at home.
Yes.
It's something like that. So it's very diverse. There are a lot of areas which you can study, and even you can even work on cruise ships also, because there are a lot of it's like working in a hotel, tourist hotel. So.
Yes.
Whoever has studied like catering or even
Travel and tourism, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's on a cruise ship there, I'm sure there will be all the fields that are in a resort hotel also. So there are those are places which you can earn hard currency, and you are very, very well protected actually.
Yes.
Protected by rules, and it's good actually to work in a challenging environment.
I'm sure people would like to hear about this, since maybe some people, for the most part, I'm sure when they're thinking the maritime industry, they want to work in that industry. I'm sure they are thinking about as an engineer on the ship, maybe the roles on the ship. How much of a toll do you think it takes on them, since they're spending quite a lot of time on sea, right? I mean, what are the disadvantages?
The biggest advantage is that you are going away from home.
Yes.
You're staying away from your family.
Yes.
That's the biggest disadvantage.
Yes.
But now you have Wi-Fi on board also.
Yeah.
But during our time, most of our time we were not without much connectivity. It was just a phone call by radio telephone, but now you are connected. But still working away from home is tough.
Okay.
That is why you are being paid also more.
So the time is actually being paid for, right?
Yeah. But nowadays the contracts, the duration of the contracts is not that long.
Oh.
To my understanding, even for the crew also, I don't think it is more than 6 months.
Oh.
And our time, it was a year, 1 year. And for officers, for senior officers, and during my last contract, it was 4 months on and 2 months off. Probably it is 3 months now.
So same in the MSS, right?
MSS contracts, I am not very sure, but I think it's not more than 1 year. But MSS ships comes to port every 2 weeks or so.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's the advantage.
okay.
Yeah, you're always at home.
Yeah,
You
yes.
can go home.
Thank you for coming and sharing your valuable information with us. And of course, I hope that we'll perhaps do another episode during a later time, right?
I would like to thank you, Yusuf, for inviting me, and I really appreciate what you are doing. Having your podcast, this is really very good. Very, and I would like to wish you all the best, and we will be available if you would like to share us more information on.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and of course, before we leave, I have a gift for you. Yes.
Thank you.
This is from our podcast and of end of the Umrah office, the travelers Umrah office.
Oh,
This one.
thank you very much.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And again, and again, of course, thank you very much for coming and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.
Yes.